All right, good morning, everybody. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. I call this meeting to order at a little after 10:30. Uh, Good morning. Before we get started today, at this meeting of the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District Board, I want to recognize the holiday season is in full swing around the district, from the parks to Disney Springs, everywhere in between, as we gather with our families and friends and loved ones in our communities. Let's celebrate all we have to be grateful for. And in particular, I want to be grateful. I want to express some gratitude uh, to this entire team. I'm very grateful for my fellow board members. Great to see all of us here today. The administration, our partners across the Walt Disney World Resort, and the entire Central Florida community for the Herculean effort. I think you've heard that one from me before. He's one of my favorite characters, certainly. It takes to keep our region one of the top tourism destinations in the world. And so I want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. Now it's time for our invocation. I'd like to welcome up Rabbi Kramer from the Orlando Torah Center. Rabbi, please. Oh, and a quick introduction of the rabbi. Rabbi Kramer moved to Orlando from Far Rockaway, New York, with his wife Shoshi. Rabbi Kramer was part of the Orlando Torah Center Academy team, where he oversaw the center's education programs. In 2022, he stepped into his current role as rabbi, leading the center team and the Torah Center community. Located in the Dr. Phillips area, OTC has grown quite a bit over the years, offering a girls' high school, boys' yeshiva, Torah day school, and additional educational opportunities, allowing those in the Orlando area to raise a Jewish family. The rabbi leads a vibrant community where everyone feels welcome, valued, and appreciated. And we're glad to welcome you here, Rabbi. Please lead us.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate the opportunity and the invitation to share some words of inspiration and a short prayer invocation, praying for the success of everyone in this room. I appreciate the opportunity, and I was told to keep it under 30 minutes, so I will do my best. It is always dangerous to give a rabbi an open mic. A short thought, and then we'll move into the invocation. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great literary giant, is quoted as saying, "Your actions speak so loudly I cannot hear what you are saying." Or more pithily expressed, actions speak louder than words. It's an old quote. Its first iteration by Emerson himself was not couched in quite those terms, but as the generations went on, that is how we are accustomed to hearing that. And it's a brilliant idea, and perhaps that can be found as earliest expression in the Torah, in the Old Testament, in the Bible. According to ancient Jewish tradition, the Old Testament is broken up into portions that are chanted and read aloud every single week in the synagogue. And in this week's Torah Bible portion, we are introduced to the sale. Those of you who have visited Israel perhaps have visited the cave of Machpelah. And that sale occurred in this week's Torah Bible portion. And in that conversation, when the patriarch Abraham, bought that plot of land with the cave in it, in which to inter his recently deceased wife Sarah, the owner of that field, whose name was given in the Bible as Ephron, he talked up a very big game about giving the land for free, but in the end he charged him a very hefty sum. Maybe some people find that as a precursor to some modern business practices. In the previous week's Torah Bible portion that we chanted and read aloud in the synagogue, Abraham did exactly the opposite. When the angels came to visit, he offered them a meager meal, but he ended up serving them a repast and a banquet and a feast that was unrivaled. And from that, we see the idea: don't talk up a big game, don't talk the talk, but walk the walk. Actions speak louder than words. In Ethics of the Fathers, chapter 1, Mishnah 15, it's expressed in Hebrew and then in English: "Emor ma'at va'aseh harbe." Say a little bit, but do a lot. And that is something perhaps that we can all take to heart, whether we sit as board members, whether we sit as people who are working together with everyone to try to make the best environment literally and figuratively, to be as best and melded together as best as possible. In today's incredibly fractious political environment, interpersonal environment, perhaps that's a message that we can take as people who are serving to promote God's word, God's name, and his message, to say to everyone else and to say to ourselves, I'm not going to be about the talk. I'm not going to be about fractious messaging. I'm going to be about doing good for myself, for my community, for God's beautiful earth, and for all the beautiful people that inhabit it. And with that, I would like to offer the following prayer to the sovereign of the world, that he gives the board members and everyone here in general, the board members in particular, the clarity of mission and the clarity of vision to understand this duality of purpose, to take care of the environment, God's beautiful earth that he gave us, and to have that happily intersect with the mission of providing an incredibly joyous environment for all the incredible people that God put in his world to inhabit it. That's a challenging mission, and we pray to the sovereign of the world, the master of the universe, that he gives us that clarity, he gives us that wisdom to reflect on the importance of the mission, and the wisdom and the clarity to carry it out with judgment, with deliberation, and to do it with the greatest sense of striving forward together as a team. I also ask that the sovereign of the universe, the master of the world, allow all of us to reflect on the really incredible opportunity that everyone in this room has to provide an environment for a cross-section of humanity that I think is probably unrivaled in the entire world, where everybody comes together. And that opportunity to provide a safe, happy environment and intersection of all of those ideas and ideals that we just expressed for all of humanity. We don't look at skin color, we don't look at gender, we don't look at identities, we just see the divine spark of humanity that resides in every single person that God puts on this world is an incredible opportunity. I ask, I beseech, I beg of God, of the sovereign of the universe, of the master of the world, that he give you, everyone in this room, and really all of mankind, the opportunity to reflect, to ponder, to cogitate, to ruminate, to think, to analyze, to distill, to absorb, and imbibe that message of who we really are and who we're really serving. It's not people, it's not men, it's not women, it's not skin colors, it's not types. It is the spark of divinity that resides in the soul of every single person in this entire universe. I ask that God give us that courage. I ask that God give us that opportunity to reflect and to be able to follow in his footsteps, to spread his glorious name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi. No, I think that was a very timely message, and I really appreciate it. I mean, obviously, coming at the end of a contentious election season, but at the end of the day, as divisive as that was, at the end of the day, we're all Floridians, we're all Americans, we're all, most importantly, God's children. So thank you for that reminder. With that, why don't we rise and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Thank you. Now, we welcome Eddie Fernandez, the district's internal risk manager, with our safety minute. Eddie, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and to our guests and visitors today. We want to cover some important safety information before we get started with today's meeting. If we do need to evacuate today's meeting, please take note of the doors as you're facing the front of the room, to the right of you and to the left of you. To the right of you will lead you out an exit from the front of the building where you entered today. To the left of you will lead you out the rear of the building. If you do exit either of those doors, please make your way to the ends of the parking lot where you'll find some of our employees wearing safety vests, and please gather along with them until we have the clearing to either return into the building or further instruction from the emergency services. On your way out, if you feel comfortable and the need is there, we do have fire alarm pull stations and fire extinguishers. If you're comfortable to use those, please go ahead and do so. We also have an AED and a first aid kit at the security desk if those are needed. I'd like to move into our safety message or our safety tip for the month. As the holiday season approaches, it's common for us to feel overwhelmed by the many expectations that we set for ourselves. During this time of year, it's unfortunately common for people to experience feelings of anxiety, depression, or loneliness. This phenomenon is often referred to holiday blues, or in more severe cases, it can be classified as seasonal affective disorder. The most challenging aspect of this is that these feelings can sometimes go unrecognized. It's important to pay close attention to your thoughts and feelings and to check in on family, friends, and colleagues over the holiday season. Please remember to practice self-care and lean on the community should you need a helping hand or a moment to talk through what you're feeling. Also, make an effort to reach out regularly to individuals who may not have anyone else to connect with and perhaps offer them a seat at your table over the holiday season. In short, be kind and supportive of everyone in your circle of influence. We'd also like to take a quick moment following the recent daylight savings time to remind everyone to change the batteries in your smoke alarms and to test them to enhance the fire safety in your homes. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the meeting.
Thank you. Thanks, Eddie. I don't know that it's within the district's power to stay on daylight savings time all the time, but I wish it were. Definitely, let's look into that. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Well, good. Thank you, Eddie. That was excellent. You raised an important topic. Definitely, testing, replacing the batteries in your smoke detectors, super important, especially around the Thanksgiving holiday. We now move on to agenda item 5, the public comment period. We have one public comment. I will welcome Miss Pam Jones. Please, if you could restate your name and identify your name and address and your organization.
Wonderful. My name is Pam Jones, and I'm the Community Relations Representative for Congressman Daniel Webster. Our district office is in Claremont, which is 1200 Oakley Seaver Drive, Suite 203 in Claremont, Florida. So it is a pleasure to be here. I just want to introduce myself and say hello to the Central Florida Tourism District Board. And I was actually at the council meetings last week, and they invited me to come back to the meeting. So I want to tell you that I represent the congressman here in West Orange and in Lake County. We also have all of Sumter County and North Polk. We go all the way from Apopka down here to Lake Buena Vista. And so the congressman, you elected him to vote, and he works in D.C. for us. But we have a district office that works really hard for our constituents. And in reference to Rabbi Kramer, when he said actions speak louder, the congressman believes that the simple things really matter. It might be somebody's IRS or a Social Security check. It's simple in the world's eyes, but it's big actions for these people. So I'm leaving our constituent brochures for you and my cards, and just want to say hello and thank you for this opportunity.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Jones.
And I don't want to be rude, but I'm supposed to be in Taveri, so when I walk out, I apologize.
We are very lucky to have Pam. Thank you for being here, but we're lucky to have Congressman Webster. He was the majority leader in the state legislature when I was up in Tallahassee, and just couldn't have a better person. Glad we have good representation here.
Absolutely, wholeheartedly agree. He's one of the. I think in the invocation was talking about walking the walk. He's one that he's there walking the walk in D.C. and in Congress every day. So it's appreciated, and I do enjoy his highway. It's excellent. 429. Thank you, Congressman, and thank you, Ms. Jones. We'll now move on to agenda item 6. The consent agenda. We've got 2 items to cover on the consent agenda. Item 6.1 is the approval of the meeting minutes from our October 23rd meeting. Item number 6.2 covers the non-exclusive temporary and subsequent permanent easement along Hartzog Road with Summit Broadband, Inc. Is there a motion to approve today's consent agenda?
So move.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing none, let the record reflect that the motion passes unanimously. Now, agenda item 7, the management report. With that, I'd like to invite the district administrator, Stephanie Kopeloussis, to deliver her report. Stephanie, please.
And Mr. Chairman, thank you. Wanted to start with some sad news for us at the district. Last weekend, we went to a funeral of one of our retirees, Mike Bevert, and it was actually a beautiful ceremony. And there was not just current employees there, but a lot of retirees. It was great just to see the support that his family was getting from our team, and so that was the first bit of sad news we got. And then the second was a gentleman by the name firefighter John McMahon, who really did a lot with the pipes and drums, and he was just in Ocala with our pipes and drums group and a bunch of firefighters for the fallen firefighter memorial event. And so we are very sad to lose him as well. Let's just say he was known around the state because of all his work. And Jimmy Petronas, our CFO, tweeted something out, but it's just sad to lose the good ones, and but appreciate our team's support of not just our own team but our retirees. So that was heartwarming, actually, to see the support that the family got at Mike's service. I also want to share, as you know, we've had Project U ongoing with our partners with the Disney company. Our team, and I'll look here at Ella, I look at the chief, I look at Joel, I look at Mike, where's Craig, the whole team. Catherine, don't let me forget Catherine. They've been working diligently, not only on the piece of World Drive North that is important to the project, but it has encompassed a lot of our team. A lot of Ella's and Joey's team have been working weekends. A lot of Joel's team have been working weekends on call to make sure we get the inspections. That's a huge project, beautiful project, and they're due to open mid-December. So our team has been working diligently to be helpful and part of the solution to try to get that done. So I just want to thank them. That's a lot of effort. They've been on call, and I'm sure, Chris, your team as well has been a part of that. So I just want to say thank you to them, and really acknowledge the hard work and the diligence that's gone into to helping get that project across the goal line. Chairman, you had requested that we do a comp plan update at the December meeting, so we'll briefly go through that at the December meeting. And the only other question, you don't have to make a decision today, but at least at the December meeting, but on what our schedule looks like for next year. So what
Right.
days? So
Yeah.
I'll leave that
I know.
with y'all.
Yeah, we'd had some discussion of in terms of shifting the meetings from Wednesdays to Thursdays, and I welcome if we can have that discussion now. Just for my work schedule, it's probably
We threw out Fridays as well. So
throughout Fridays as well. We don't have to have that discussion at the moment. We can obviously, but I will. That will be my offer for board members to consider between now and December whether a Thursday or a Friday would be possible and which one would be preferable, and we can hash that out in more detail at the next meeting.
Can I just, for a point of clarification, do we need to have a determination and accept a schedule by the December meeting? Or
we
That's a
can
good
do
question.
it at the December meeting. All we want to do is make sure we do the advertisement
Okay,
for
all right.
January in the year.
thank you.
Good. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for the report. And obviously, yeah, the district's condolences. I think I feel I'll speak on behalf of the board, extending our condolences to the loss of those former and members of the district. And obviously, everybody. This is a big family, all current and retired employees and their families. So we all wish them the best, and may their memories be a blessing. So thank you, Stephanie. We will now move on to Agenda item number general business. Agenda item number 8.1 to approve contract number C006566, the agreement with Half Associates Inc. for professional engineering services for the district's master drainage model update in the amount of $2,162,925. We will hear to expand on this agenda item at greater length. Our Catherine Lutzow, are the district's planning and engineering manager. Catherine, please.
Good morning. Well,
Morning.
this one is a near and dear to my drainage nerd heart.
How long have you been trying to get this done?
Since I started at the district, so it has been a work of love. But we had to do a lot of steps to get it to this point. So, yes, as the board is aware, the district is responsible for our master drainage system. As part of that responsibility, we have to maintain and continuously update our master drainage model. So it's a hydraulic and hydrologic drainage model that provides us detailed information about our canals, flows, elevations of stages for design storms, things of that nature. This project is to take our model and convert it from an obsolete software system into current industry standard software and update it to current to reflect all the development that has occurred since our last development or last update. And we are doing this not only for all the detailed areas within the district, but updating the off-site tributary into us. So this is a very large effort. At the end of this project, we will have a very powerful tool. Not only will it give us updated information about our canals, so updated flows, stages, we'll have revised floodplain maps. We can also use this for emergency management, resiliency, and planning initiatives throughout the district. So back in March, we released a LOI for professional engineering services for this project. We received 6 letters of interest. This is a very technical project. We need engineers that have experience doing large-scale flood modeling. And so we were evaluating these firms on that experience, their expertise in this area. We shortlisted 3 firms based on those qualifications, and then had them do presentations and a question and answer session. It was a close selection, but we ended up selecting Half Associates as our most qualified bidder. And just so you're aware, Half has done a lot of work for our neighboring Orange and Osceola communities. So they bring that expertise and knowledge to help us with those tributary areas. This will be a multi-year project. So we are expecting anticipated completion in fiscal year 2026. The current request, as mentioned, was for the full contract amount of the $2,162,925, but it will be split. So we are doing $1.5 million for fiscal 2025. The remainder of the balance will be for fiscal 2026, contingent on budgetary funding, obviously. And with that, are there any questions?
Any questions from the board? I guess if you could maybe could you specify when the last of these reports was done?
So the last full update was 2014. Since then, we've been doing large areas more detailed, but the full update was 2014. So it is overdue. And part of that was there was an issue with our gates. So our gates are unique, and they are very calculative intensive because of how they need to be calculated. And so trying to find a software that could handle them but was still accepted by FEMA was a challenge until recently when more softwares were available and accepted. So,
And like like down the road, where do you see the goal for this? Where do you think the ultimate? What do you think we're going to see from this report, and where do you see it going from there?
so from this, we will have updated information. So we are running multiple scenarios, and we are running, as you're aware, Florida continues to get more storms, more rainfall with those storms. So we're running up to a 20-year storm or 20-inch storm event, which I think is like a 1,000-year storm. So that we're aware of what does that look like, and that's where it starts to ties with emergency management of, do we start to see levees or any issues in our system so that we can start to identify and potentially address beforehand any potential issues.
Right.
So
Thank
it's
you.
just a really powerful tool.
Sure. Well, and obviously very, very timely for a lot of reasons, but I'll leave that to discussion. But Catherine, thank you for that. I would like to open the floor for the board for discussion or questions you may have.
Yeah,
For-
I do have a question. We had in, I think, 2005 or 2006, we had the eye of three hurricanes pass over. First time in modern history that happened with Charlie, I guess, with Gene and Francis. I don't remember for sure. But did we get flooding at that point?
So we did not. We've been very fortunate. Our master drainage system and how it was designed is really amazing when you start looking into it. So we were very fortunate. But what we did have was Osceola County downstream
Yes.
backed up to us.
Oh, okay.
And so we have had that before where our
That was going to
southernmost
be my
structure.
second question. Yeah, because
cannot
others may not
push.
do as planning quite as well.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Sorry, wait. Could you clarify that? I'm not sure I followed. Osceola. What would happen?
So-
with Osceola?
The water downstream of our southernmost structure was basically at the upstream level, which means you can't flow.
Got it.
So since then, Osceola County, the Water Management District, have done significant work. So with the recent storms, that has not been an issue, but that was a wake-up call to starting coordination with them and revamping some of these efforts to make sure we get this model effort really going.
Great.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to say thank you for your
Please,
labor of
yeah.
love, and it's very much appreciated. And yeah, I wanted to just understand a little bit more, but my understanding is not just storms that impact us, but how others' drainage system flows into ours, which we are, like you said, we have a tributary, and we collect a lot from others. So I'm guessing, and this information will be useful not just for us, but for our partners in surrounding jurisdictions. And maybe if you could describe a little bit about how we interact with them and how this might be helpful to plan just regionally and not just for us.
Sure. So part of the scenarios we're doing is we have the information of what was flowing into us at our conception in 1966, all those studies of that tributary area. We are going to run that versus today as one of these analysis to see what does that offsite do to our system. So that way we can identify that. We are also, to your point, grabbing the immediately adjacent areas from offsite and doing some detailed modeling. So that way we can coordinate with the counties and really nail down as we connect what that looks like. Yep. So there will be a lot of coordination with the counties.
Well, look, I'll Supervisor. Okay, I would just comment. I mean, this is before this district. I mean, everybody here knows, but before this district was anything else, it was a drainage district. This is a unique, our system of canals. How many square miles is it, Catherine? Is it 30?
So we're about 34. I think at one point our highest we were about 44 square miles, but we've got rid of some areas since then. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a significant public resource, a significant public trust. It's not really public facing like so much of the rest of the work we do is, but it's, I think, one of the key trusts that has been placed under our responsibility, and well overdue, to get an update on this so that we can make sure we're upholding our responsibility effectively. So I appreciate this is, other than maybe the World Drive project, one of the things that I've had the most discussions on with you and members of our staff since joining the board, and I'm glad to see this moving forward. So thank you. With that, is there a motion to approve agenda item 8.1?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, let the record reflect that the motion passes unanimously. Catherine, thank you. We will move on to agenda item 8.2. Under agenda item 8.2, the District Fire Department seeks to approve contract number C006489 with Motorola Solutions, Inc. to provide annual maintenance for the Astro P25 radio system in the amount of $537,139.17 since. Today we are joined by Deputy Chief and Fire Marshal Joel Edwards to brief us on agenda item 8.2.
So thank you, and good morning.
Good morning.
The district owns and operates a public safety radio system. It's got between 400 and 500 actual users on the system over various departments, including obviously the fire department, building and safety, and the garage. And I think also RCS has some users on the system as well. With the new procurement policies of the district, the annual service fee that we're assessed is now over 500, and so we are bringing this to the board. It is an annual maintenance agreement. It covers all of the pieces and parts of the system, any kind of maintenance and software upgrades. It does not include things like the radio, so those are considered consumables. But should something break, should we have a fiber cut or something like that, Motorola provides that immediate service for repair. And that is the information I have for you. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Great. Any questions from the board?
Yes, is that a cellular system?
It is not. It is a 800 megahertz UHF
Excellent.
trunked. Yes.
Okay, so you don't. It's not based on towers all throughout. You have a few antenna
Correct.
scattered around. Yes.
Yes. We have one master site out at Hartzog Road, and then there are feeder antennas throughout the property that are linked through either microwave or through fiber.
Okay. Does that interconnect at all with any other municipalities or?
Yes, and thank you for bringing that up. Actually, that's a good point. We actually have entered into a roaming agreement with Orange County. So Orange County is able to roam on our system, and we're able to roam on an Orange County system. That includes not only the fire department, but also law enforcement. So when we entered into that roaming agreement, it was a really important step for getting law enforcement to also have excellent coverage in all buildings out here.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great.
Does that extend to Osceola County? And if not?
We do not have an agreement with them at this time. That hasn't been something that they're part of. Orange County has a very, very large system. I think it encompasses like Apopka and the city of Orlando, and so we're part of that agreement.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Well, good. And I'm glad Supervisor Perry's here to ask. I know this is an area of particular interest to you. So
Yeah, I'm very interested in anything that has to do with disasters, disaster recovery, and because we just have a level of exposure here with the iconic attractions and the number of people coming from all over the world and the rest, that our ability to deal with disasters, even if they're just small ones, is absolutely critical.
well said. So, Deputy Chief, I guess, and it's a very simple question. Are you satisfied that this is the system that's the most effective for the most reasonable cost to the district?
I do think it is. We've had very good response from Motorola. We've had a very long relationship with them. We are going to be coming back to you with some upgrades to the system that need to happen. This system was installed in '96, I think, Chief. About '96.
The new system's only
Oh wait. Okay.
April 28th, 2008.
So we've got some end of life things that are going to be happening.
The chief knows. I love it. Yeah.
To keep it up to date, some things coming your way that we'll share with you. But yes, we do think it's a great system.
Okay, very
Great.
good. With that, thank you, Deputy Chief. No more questions. Is there a motion to approve agenda item 8.2?
We have to approve agenda item 8.2.
Is there a second? Set the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, let the record reflect the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Now, agenda item 8.3. As you all know, the World Drive North Phase 3 project has been making steady progress. Craig Sant, was that, you like that one, Craig?
I like that.
I would say so.
Slow and steady.
Slow and steady.
Actually, our slow is a lot faster
a-
than normal slow. So
That's right. Craig Sant, construction manager, will give you an update. Will give us an update on the project in both agenda items 8.3 and 8.4. Under agenda item 8.3, the district seeks the approval of contract number C006106 World Drive North Phase 3 for construction management and engineering inspection services with Consor Engineers LLC for $2,238,318.27 plus a 10% contingency and $142,261.02 for reimbursable expenses for a total of $2,604,411.12. Ooh, Craig, will you go over 8.3 with us?
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Good morning. Good morning, fellow members
Good
of the board. This item and the next item kind of obviously go together because they represent the World Drive North Phase 3 construction effort. First one, as you said, is for the construction inspection, engineering and inspection services, CM services also for the project too. First, I just want to kind of give you guys a little overview and define and delineate Phase 1 versus Phase 2 of the World Drive North Phase 3 construction project. So it gets a little complicated, but we're gonna simplify this real easy. So
Buckle up.
as you can see on the exhibit, there's 3 roundabouts, and this is the final configuration of the World Drive North Phase 3 project. So the middle roundabout, just to the north, which is to the right of the middle roundabout, everything that way is Phase 2 of the Phase 3 project, and everything to the left of that roundabout underground represents the World Drive North Phase 3 Phase 1 project. So it's a little convoluted, but just to give you an update where we are right now with Phase 1, we had 3 critical phasings of the project to the temporary chilled water plants, which proud to say they've all been installed. One at the Pirates location, one at the Grand Floridian, and one at the Polynesian. Probably looking at about hopefully 2 weeks out, and we'll start to remove the first one of those temporary plants, followed in February by the Grand Floridian, and then a month or so later, the Polynesian will come offline. We've replaced the gas fiberglass lines in that area, which were brittle, to kind of say the least. So that's completely done in the critical phasing, and we have electrical 12 kV that's being replaced as we speak. Glad to say we are about 65 to 70% complete with all the utilities within the Phase 1 corridor of the Phase 3 project.
Great.
So now what constitutes Phase 2 of the World Drive North Phase 3 project? Again, it's everything underground north of the middle roundabout all the way to the end of the project. Everything underground, utilities, that is included in the World Drive North Phase 2 project. Also, the bridge, there's a bridge up by the canal just north or to the right of roundabout 3. The permanent roadway all the way through the corridor is in the World Drive North Phase 2 project. 7 Cs tie-in, the relocation, as you can see, the roundabout, the south roundabout, 7 Cs kind of gets relocated to the south. That will be completed in the World Drive North Phase 2. World Drive North Phase 3, Phase 2. See, I even mess it up now. All the street lighting and all the signage and icing on the cake is all in Phase 2 of the World Drive North Phase 3 project. So with that being said, this first one of the C006106 contract with Consor Engineering is we're seeking approval for the add addition phase, which is the Phase 2 of the World Drive North Phase 3 project. With this first request of 8.3, we're just asking for your approval to add the add addition phase onto this said contract. Any questions?
And could you talk about estimated timeline?
Estimated timeline, we're looking at 2027 to complete the construction project too. I believe we're about middle of the year, summertime,
Okay.
2027. But that will also be landscaping. We have to do a landscaping project, which will probably come to the board to design it at the end of this fiscal year too. So we're a little ways out. So
Okay.
got a good bit of work to do.
In terms of difficulty, would you compare? Which would you say is more difficult? The phase 2 of phase 3 project, or phase 3 of the phase 2 project?
Phase
No,
one. I can
just-
answer that. Obviously, what we're
He
doing
has
right now with
been
the
so
chiller.
excited to talk about this. I can't even tell you. We started at 7:30 this
I'm
I
morning.
practice
excited.
every night.
Yeah.
Phase 1 of the phase 3, phase 2 of the phase 3. So
But Craig, I make that comment just to highlight. I mean, your fluency on what is an incredibly complicated project is amazing to me. The level of detail, the level of knowledge. Thank your team. That you're all the way deep into the weeds and in the dirt and all the rest of it, all the phases, and I can't thank you enough. So. Thank you for that. I'm glad we have you on the team. With that, I'll open the floor to discussion from other members. If not, if there's no discussion, I will entertain a motion to approve agenda item 8.3.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, let the record reflect the motion passes unanimously. Very good. On to agenda item 8.4. The district seeks to approve phase 2 of the contract number C006110 World Drive North phase 3 project, including add alternates with Southland Construction in the amount of, it's a bigger number, $43,398,746.60 plus 10% contingency for a total of $47,738,621. Craig, will you go over 8.4 with us?
yes. So this is now the construction contract with Southland Construction. This one in the contract's actually called Phase 2. So this is true Phase 2 construction contract of the World Drive North Phase 3 project. So we're flowing now. Again, the same exhibit.
We're going to change the names for the next board meeting.
Yeah.
If you change, it's going to throw me off if you change the name. So with the exhibit again, it's the same.
Maybe like a code name, not a letter. We got to get away from the letters and the numbers. It's a little, but carry on, Craig. Thank you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's giving me gray hair. I have to color my hair, but that's a whole nother issue. So with the exhibits, the same phasing that goes on through here. The most critical part, obviously, of this project, it's all critical, but the hardest part is definitely phase 1, which is the utilities within the first roundabouts, and that's basically between the Polynesian and the Grand Floridian to it's 45-year-old plus utilities in there. We have to build the new utilities and keep the old ones active. We've had struggles with the chiller plants, getting them active and getting them running right. We've worked through all those. Again, like Stephanie said, we supported Project U. We kind of completed that work this week to help them get online with the drainage system. Very complex project with the tightest area we've ever been given to do a project. So Southland's been a great partner. Consor's been a great partner. RCS, planning and engineering. It's a team effort, really, when it comes down to it. Everyone works well as a team. So the only thing kind of a little bit different than anything added to what you said, so this is actually going to add 689 days onto their current contract to Southland's too, which would bring it to that 2000, I believe it's June 9th, I believe, 2027 date too for the end of construction. But as you can see up there's been a lot of changes just recently too. It's a little mess, but it's construction. But you can see we've been clearing out the back in the phase 2 area, getting ready to really start to pick up speed. People don't understand the utilities underneath the ground are some of the hardest things we have to build. And once we get above ground, no one sees them, no one cares about them. But it's the icing on the cake. But this board approval is to approve phase 2 of the construction contract of the C006110 World Drive North phase 3 contract to Southland Construction.
Great.
Any questions?
And just remind me, Southland. I mean, as you said, I mean, they've been involved in this project from the beginning, right? And
Day one, yes.
great, and they're about as sophisticated an operator as it gets. Fair to say.
Yeah, they're very good partners with us. We built the whole Osceola and Victory Way corridor interchange, well, pretty much the whole corridor with them too. And there was 9 complex bridges on that project. They've been working here on property even before I came. They're very good partners to work with too, and they understand the complexities that it is, what it takes to work on this property, which can be challenging at times. You know, it's a 24/7 operation. We can't interrupt it. So.
To that point, I mean, regarding this specific project, I mean, are there any what are the risks involved? You know, that where you could see where the costs might go up. What are the particular challenges and risks of this?
Biggest risks are utilities. You know, hopefully we've done painstaking work ahead of this contract to even put it out to identify the underground utilities that are in the area. Again, we can't. We have such tight clearances between the new utilities and existing utilities too. We had to really take our time, do our due diligence. Planning and engineering did a great job of doing soft digs out there to identify the locations of these utilities so we can find a corridor to thread the new utilities through. That's really the biggest challenge of this project. And since the roadway is easy, I hate to say it, to kind of build, it's the utilities underground which is challenging too, and we're relying on information.
Chris, in other words, you're the problem.
Yeah. No, her team's been awesome and helpful too. Whenever we run into something that wasn't identified like that, their team steps up and helps us all out. It's like I said, it's a team effort. It has to be a team effort. Without a team effort, this project, something as complex as this, will never get done. So. But yeah, those are the biggest challenges, utilities really, everything underground. You know, once we get in the phase 2 stuff, it's not that challenging of a construction. That bridge, it's not a complex bridge. It's easy to build for the most part, unless we find unsuitable soils, which, you know, Florida has a lot of unsuitable soils, but I believe we accounted for all that stuff. So we have some more utility challenges to get through, or some critical areas with some jack and bores. Those are always kind of a little nerve-wracking at times too, but so far so good, knock on wood. So we've moved through them, but unfortunately sometimes when you dig in the ground you find something that no one knew was there. So we just try to be safe and try not to knock anybody out of service. That's the goal. So.
Absolutely. And you're confident that to a high degree of certainty the 10% contingency will cover
at this point
downside.
Yeah. We've had some scares with that too, but we've done a lot of VE efforts in the project too, which we try to do to take a look at stuff where we can do some cost savings. I think with the chiller plants, timing wise, where it took us a little while to get up and active with those temp chiller plants, hopefully we're able to shorten the duration of them being active, which in turns will save us a good bit of money here too. So I mean, we still have some stuff to do, but I think we're looking very, very, very good too. We pride ourselves in trying to give money back into Susan's pot of money. So
great, I'd like to hear that. Well, good. I mean, look, obviously, it's abundantly clear from your presentation. We've made significant progress on the World Drive North Phase 3 project, and it's looking like it's going to be an even busier next year or more for you, your team, and the folks in planning and engineering. So thank you for that, Craig. Before we get to a vote, I will open the floor to my fellow board members should they have any questions or comments. No? Okay. Hearing none, then I will entertain a motion to approve item 8.4.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, let the record reflect that the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Craig. We are now on to agenda item 8.5. It's the last item under general business to cover today. The district seeks approval of contract number C006619 for 3 years with Sinagro South LLC to supply, operate, and maintain a skid-mounted centrifuge dewatering system in the amount of $1,912,540. Chris Ferraro, the Director of Reedy Creek Energy Services, will be presented today. Welcome, Chris.
Good morning, Vice Chairman, Board of Supervisors, and district leaders. So we do have a picture of this system that you described so eloquently in your opening, Vice Chairman, but a little bit of background on the why for this project. So today we are seeking a contract award, as you described, for a vendor-operated on-site biosolids dewatering from a skid-mounted centrifuge system at the district's water resource recovery facility, more commonly or affectionately known as the wastewater treatment plant. So just a little bit of background on why this service is required. So as you're aware, the district operates a permitted 20 million gallon per day wastewater facility. We currently have an average daily flow of about 14 million gallons of wastewater to that plant. At the end of the wastewater treatment process, we produce wastewater solids or sludge. I tell you, electric has much better names than wastewater. We have sludge that is produced. That sludge needs to be dewatered and thickened so that it can be transported off-site to a compost facility as part of the district's beneficial reuse philosophy. Prior to 2013, the district used belt filter presses that are shown in this picture to dewater that sludge material. Those presses were getting to the end of their useful life in 2013. It was one of the deciding factors why the district entered into a partnership with the waste-to-energy facility that processed the district's biosolids from 2013 to 2020. That partnership ended in 2020 with the waste-to-energy facility. At that time, we need to make provisions for some temporary dewatering of the biosolids at the plant, and went out for a mobile on-site skid-mounted centrifuge system that spins. Instead of pressing the biosolids or the sludge, it spins those materials and the water comes out the bottom, and you're left with a more solid substance that can be loaded into a truck for hauling and disposal. The district does plan to construct a new biosolids dewatering facility. That design is in its final phases, but construction will take an additional 3 years. So the contract in front of the board today will put this mobile system in place to carry us until that new facility is completed and commissioned. So here is a picture of this operation today at the wastewater plant. I believe some of our board members toured this recently with us. But it's a mobile centrifuge. It dewaters the biosolids material, comes up the conveyor belt and into the back of the truck, and then that truck is used to transport those materials to off-site compost. Mm-hmm. So in August of this year, we went out to bid for those services, and 5 bids were received. You can see it was a nice selection of vendors that came in and showed interest in this scope of work for the district. So at this time, we're recommending a bid award to Synagro South, who is our low bidder. So we're seeking board approval today for contract C006619 with Synagro South LLC to supply, operate, and maintain a skid-mounted centrifuge system to process waste sludge and produce dewatered biosolids and meet disposal requirements for a 3-year period. And we have 3 optional 1-year renewals following that 3-year original contract. The 3-year contract amount is for $1,912,540. This is a routine operating expense for the wastewater utility and will be budgeted and recovered through utility rates. If you look at a full year for this service, it's about just $612,000 a year in fiscal 26 and 27. And as always, every time I'm here, I have to tilt my hat to Tiffany and her team. Very successful bid. This is a savings to the district over the services that are being provided to the district today. Pretty significant operating savings. So really appreciate the work of Tiffany's team getting some great bids in for consideration. That's the end of my presentation, unless there are any questions.
Great. Is sludge a technical term, or is that just kind of a...
Yes. I Googled it this morning. Yes, it is a technical term.
I love that.
Jason will know more.
Oh, man.
Biosolids.
Okay. One question I had, so it sounds like, the centrifuge type of dewatering system is an alternative to, would you say, a pressing?
Correct. And we're contemplating another type of dewatering for the permanent facility, which would use good old-fashioned screw presses, where you insert the biosolids in the top, and using gravity and a good old fashioned screw, you'll get a more dewatered product and, you know, with some thickening agents that can be very low energy, very efficient, a low maintenance system. The centrifuges are also something to consider, but anything that spins like that on a continuous basis represents typically more maintenance and needs someone tending to it on a regular basis. That is a manned, even the mobile station is manned continuously.
So I guess, yeah, that leads to my question. So in this instance, we chose to go with the centrifuge system. Is that a function of because this is a mobile system? Or?
Correct. It's very portable.
Yeah.
Correct.
Great. That makes sense. Well, I like that. I like to hear cost savings. That always brings a smile to my face. We try to be good stewards of our taxpayers' money. So, any questions from my fellow board members? Okay. Well, Chris, look, I'll thank you. And by the way, I have to correct the record from the last meeting. We had a contract bidder from Waukesha County, which I mispronounced. And, you know, during election night, I was eagerly awaiting those votes from Waukesha County. So I would like to apologize to the good people of Waukesha County and thank them for their efforts. So God bless them. With that, and thank you, Chris. It's always great to hear from you, as always. Is there a motion to approve agenda item 8.5?
Move approval of agenda item 8.5.
So, motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, let the record reflect that the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Chris. With that, we will move on to agenda item number 9, other business. Do we have questions, comments, or other items of business from the board or members? Hearing none, I would like, and in that case, I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second?
Yes. Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none, let the record reflect that I adjourn the November 20th, 2024 meeting of the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District Board, adjourned at about 11:30 a.m. Thank you all. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll see you on December 18th at a regularly scheduled time of 10:30. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.